Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Pop
Mm.
Culture Powerhouses. This week we have got fake Superman versus fake Superman? Question mark? Omni-Man versus Homelander, the Viltrumite god versus the Nepo baby. It's crazy up in here. As always, we've got our 6 categories to help us decide who is the bigger pop culture powerhouse. We've got their iconicness, their individuality, the quality of adaptations, legacy, relatability, and personal preference.
Yes.
Let's jump right in.
Oh, iconicness. I mean, almost want to say Homelander slightly
I agree.
more, purely because a wider scope of viewers have maybe watched The Boys than they would watch Invincible.
And there's a lot more Homelander memes, which will make his face more
Yes.
recognizable to people who haven't even seen The Boys.
Yes. And I think also the parody of real life situations in politics has lent a hand to him being memed even more, like you say.
Yes.
And very iconic on the internet. Maybe not so much outside of that scope.
But that is pop culture, isn't it? How big are you on the internet? It's
It is. And with these two, it's still bigger than, I would say, Omni-Man's kind of
for sure
range of what he's reached.
I would agree. Individuality.
Oh. Weird one, because they're essentially both the same, but yet are different in certain ways.
They are different takes of the same parody.
Yes.
So they are both parodying Superman to an extent. I would say, although The Boys is so obviously a parody that they don't try and hide it as much. I feel like the evil Superman-ness of Omni-Man is less parody-ish.
Yes, and I feel like his character is going through more, like, there is the clear direction that his character is developing and has depth to him, whereas Homelander is purely a parody and doesn't develop past that. Like, he is just, that is his purpose.
Exactly. I would say Omni-Man is definitely more of an individual character, especially when you consider the character development that he's already going through, and we know he goes through in the comics. Homelander, like you said, he's absolutely just. What if Superman was evil and a giant baby?
Yeah,
and that is
like,
Homelander. And I don't mean that to like slander the creation. He's a phenomenal character.
He is the mirror.
Is...
His individuality is in the sense of, like, he is a mirror of Superman. He is evil. He is for corporation, not for the people. Superman is like your embodiment of a good man. Homelander is a child in a man's body. Like, it is literally like, how can you mirror Superman in every sense, but have the same power set? So, yeah, Omni-Man, definitely more individual, though.
Absolutely. Quality of adaptations. So we've got the comics for each of them.
Yep.
The show for each of them.
Yep.
And Mortal Kombat 1 for each
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I
the
haven't played
Invincible
Mortal Kombat,
comic.
so.
The Invincible comic is far superior to the Boys comic.
Yeah.
That's not up for debate.
I think that's
so. The Homelander of the Boys TV show is a very different version to what we get in the comics. But I do think they're all changes for the better.
Okay, so that is a good adaptation then.
Yes. But I would say it's not a faithful adaptation, but a good adaptation.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we're talking about quality of the adaptation, though. It is, if it's adapted for the better, I think that is a net positive for that.
If that is the way we want to go with it, which I don't disagree with, I would say quality of adaptation probably does go to Homelander. Because while we jokingly, or not so jokingly, but like, our point is he is a Superman crybaby, the character has a lot going on that is being put together very, very well. And I'm very impressed with.
They've they've put a lot of depth into something that is, like, as we've been saying, just a parody joke that necessarily at surface level doesn't need to have all that, but adding those things actually kind of gives more depth to this parody of a character. I
Yes,
imagine,
absolutely.
obviously, I don't know the Invincible comics at all, but I presume Omni-Man in the animated show is pretty much the same as he is in the comics.
Yes, I believe they might be developing his kind of remorse and feeling bad about what he's done a little bit earlier.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but he is it's, the story is following a very faithful adaptation.
Yeah. Which, solid, and the fans will love it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, maybe I would tip slightly towards Homelander because it's been a improvement on his character.
Legacy. This one's a lot more difficult because of how early we are.
Yeah, I feel like both of their legacies at the moment are memes or social media things.
Yes, I would say right now, purely because it's had more seasons, Homelander's legacy is much larger.
Yeah, and I think it kind of ties in with he is more iconic because he is reaching a broader audience.
Exactly that.
So
Exactly that.
yeah, he's leaving, and I would say that they're both leaving the legacy of improving the perception of this evil Superman trope. I think
Yes,
they've done good for that. Like they have shown that they're the two best ways of doing it that we've seen.
absolutely. I completely agree with that. Relatability. I myself am just like Homelander.
Such a nepo baby.
Yeah.
Honestly, and I'm so like Omni-Man. I just want to destroy Earth sometimes.
Yeah. I just want to crush everything. Neither
I'm
of
as
them are
old as
relatable.
Omni-Man.
Yeah, as the actor Anthony Starr who plays Homelander and the director showrunner Eric Kripke have said, if you relate to Homelander, you're a fucking terrible person.
Yeah, seek help.
Yeah, like that's the point. They're not supposed to be relatable.
No, I feel like there's a little bit of like with Omni-Man's development we're seeing in the animated show now, where he's obviously turning a corner, his character's shifting.
He's
There's
having to turn on everything he was raised to do.
yes, which I think there's a bit of relatability there
Mm-hmm.
for some people. But obviously, again, this is someone that wanted to destroy Earth and destroy it. It's not necessarily the person you should be relating to.
I completely agree with that. Personal preference.
I think I prefer Omni-Man as a character. Like, I like to laugh at Homelander, but as like, I don't really care for what he does. Whereas I have more of an intrigue on seeing Omni-Man turn this corner and kind of develop as a character. So I'm more like intrigued by him.
I think Homelander is on the cusp of becoming a iconic villain in the same breath as like a Darth Vader. I think Omni-Man, once he's had as many seasons as Homelander, has a chance to be a much more interesting and compelling character.
Yeah.
Because we've only had 2 seasons of Omni-Man where he's not been in most of the second season.
True.
Whereas with Homelander, we've had
A lot.
4 seasons of The Boys and Gen V, and he turns up to like punctuate moments and he's the big bad. Which I just feel like gives him more time to be a compelling character. So I think right now I would take Homelander as my personal preference.
I can see that.
But I will not be surprised if by the time both these shows are finished, that would change to Omni-Man.
I can see that.
They're both such fucking cool characters, though. They're such good takes. And ironically, if they weren't as good as they were, people would be so bored of evil Superman. It's crazy. But because these versions are so good, that trope is hanging around like the plague.
It shows that it was something I recently. Where did I hear it? It was someone was like, there is actually never a bad idea or overused idea in film and TV or media. It's just bad execution.
Absolutely.
And it's like, this proves that, like you say, that we've had many different bad Superman tropes. A lot of them have been bad execution. These are two excellent executions, which means everybody loves this character and this idea of a character. So,
yeah.
Let's top the
Righty-o.
scores.
Yes. Iconicness we're currently giving to Homelander.
Yeah, I would agree there.
Individuality we're currently giving to Omni-Man.
I think so, yeah.
Quality of adaptations we went Homelander
I would
because
say
of the
Homelander.
improvement via the show.
Yep.
Legacy Homelander.
Yeah, just because he's been around a bit longer.
Making it 3-1 to Homelander.
Yep.
Relatability we gave to Omni-Man.
Yep. That's true.
Making it 3-2. And then was it a draw on personal preference?
I would
you
say
had Omni-Man.
Yeah, it's a draw.
Cool. So final score is 3-2 Homelander. And I do genuinely believe, like I said, for a couple of points, this is because we have more Homelander to go off.
Yeah, no,
I feel like if we do this once both these shows are complete, this would be a lot closer.
Maybe we revisit this one then down the line.
Maybe this is one we bookmark and come back to. The rematch.
The rematch.
But there we go. That is this week's Pop Culture Powerhouse.
Yes.
Tell us who you think is the bigger pop culture icon down below, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.